So I've just had a call for a brown snake in construction netting. You guys know how bad that stuff is. It was literally the first video on this channel was a red belly in construction netting. I've been told 390 and I just had a look around this block and I couldn't see it, but I can see a bit of pink mesh over here, so I dare say that's going to be our snake. I can't see the snake, so he might be a smaller one. I can see him now actually. Let's hope he's still alive. Oh, he's a bit... Oh, he is a decent... You are a decent sized snake. Oh, you poor bugger. Oh, you poor thing. Oh. And the bad news is as well, I don't have my tubes because I was giving a red belly injections this morning and I forgot to put my tubes back in the car. Oh, that is a shame. The safest thing for me here, it doesn't look like any circulation's being cut off at all. It's not too tight. It's more the fact, oh, it is tight there actually. I was gonna say I might just cut away most of it, bag him up and then do it at home with the tubes, but I might have a little crack now, see how free I can get him. Even if I get the most tight bits away, which is like in there, which is really eating into his body, and then take the rest home, because if I get bitten and have to go to hospital, then I can't save him, and then it's just a big debacle and no one's been done a favour. So let's grab the scissors and we'll start hacking at it. Alright, got all the gear here ready to go. Got my side cutters. Did have a little pair of fingernail scissors. These are the go-to. So good for getting under there and prevents more damage to that fella. Car's not too far away. You know what, I did forget a bandage. This is not only dangerous for the snake, but it's dangerous for me. And I need my bandage just in case I do get bitten. I can wave the helicopter down to pick me up and get me to the hospital. There we are, always have our bandage. That was a joke, I won't be waving any helicopter down, I'll be laying still without moving. Alright, bandage over here, this is our little workstation. I bring him over here out of the sun. Hopefully he hasn't been in the sun for too long. Looking at the state of these injuries, I will probably take him home at least for a night or two. Just really depends on the extent of the injuries, but it does look quite deep so far. And it wouldn't be a bad idea just to hydrate him, give him a drink and a rest, because imagine going through this, it's not good. It's actually a really stunning brown snake. Gee, he doesn't have the usual belly pattern with the bright oranges. You can sort of see it there, but nowhere near as usual. All right, what are we dealing with, buddy? Let's get started. Alrighty, so first things first, let's get away all of this stuff here. Get away as much of this as possible. I had scissors the other day from when I cut out a red belly, but I took them out of the car to give them a wash and I haven't put them back in. Completely my fault. I think this is actually the first time I've gotten a brown snake out. It's normally a red belly. You still do need to worry about a bite, but obviously not as much. Oh man, they get themselves so tangled. And it's obviously incredibly important for me at all times to keep an eye on where this snake's head is, especially without my tubes. See, every mistake I make like this, just a small mistake, not getting my tools back in the car, it's a mistake, it's a learning curve. The injury's actually already starting to scab up, which indicates he has been here longer than just today, which is a bloody shame, but it's very lucky someone spotted him. I don't know how someone actually spotted him. They might have been walking their dog or something along those lines. It's gone a bit yuck and crusty, so he's definitely been here longer than just today. You poor bugger. Thank God I can't see any maggots or anything along those lines. The tightest bit around the body here is actually coming away quite nicely. Sometimes you really need to wedge the scissors in to get them in under the scales. I love eastern brown snakes. I don't deal with them all that often. Most of the snakes I get called to are red bellies, so I do love getting called to eastern brown snakes, which sounds ridiculous to all you normal people out there. Everyone else wants to avoid them. They're incredibly misunderstood snake. They're seriously beautiful. And this guy's being extremely well behaved. Not even trying to get me. Normally when I do the red bellies for this, they're trying to get me. Their head's flying everywhere. It could just be because he's exhausted from being here for so long. see here, you've cut away all the back part of the body there. I just need to be very careful. You can see some bits of scabbing and whatnot in there. It's a bit yucky, but nothing super bad. Some peeling of the scales there. And we got some more tight bits in this section. And then the head, that's gonna be the fun part. It sounds horrible, but it actually makes it easier when the head is stuck. Hey, don't do that. So they know when they're starting to get more and more free and they get more antsy. And with a bit of life like that, he's definitely within striking distance. I wonder if I can turn him around and get that head more towards you guys and work from the back here. The more free I get him, the more movement he has, but at least I can sort of prevent him from doing what he's done here with the incredibly tight mesh. Yeah, you keep your head over there. We are! Am I gonna have to take you home to finish you off? I'd rather get you out now just to cause less damage. But if you're gonna play silly buggers, we're gonna have to go home, which I mean isn't the end of the world. I'm about 20 minutes from home. He is sort of playing silly buggers now, to be honest. Now he's got his head stuck. I could potentially use his head being stuck to my advantage, to be honest. With the head being stuck, I can continue to cut away the body and leave the head till very last. And I can chop the head free and chuck him straight in the bag. Makes it much safer, and I can do it much quicker too. I'm getting bitten by an ant. Oh, I think I'm sitting on an ant nest and they're all coming now. Yeah, I'll show you guys how crusty and old this wound is. Scales have started to peel. It's a bit yuck. There's a bit of red in there. So I'll definitely take him in, get him just spruced up, get him hydrated. I don't think he'll need antibiotics or anything like that. It's just like a cut that they would sustain in the wild potentially. Bit of injury underneath there. Yeah, definitely sort of dehydrated without a doubt, so we can get some water into him. And yeah, you can see the way he's letting me move, he is definitely exhausted. He's been here a while. He's really moving now. He's using his tail to pull himself back around my shoe. He's freed his head, so all that plan goes out the window. I'm just trying to turn him, get his head the opposite way, so he's not looking at me while I continue to cut away the majority of this. He's so lucky there's no maggots or ants in it. That could have been the end of him. We're getting there. We're actually nearly there. So I've got it so loose now that he's actually making his way out of the mesh here. So I'm gonna keep working along the body line here and he can keep working his way out. And then when he's all the way out, I'll be able to quickly grab my bag and get him in there, because if I release this snake in this condition, he's very compromised. Risk of infection, risk of exhaustion, risk of predation due to exhaustion. It's just not ideal. The best bit, I'm a Kiwi now. The best bet is going to be to give him at least a couple days rest. Pillow slips just blown over his head. He's coming towards my leg now. That's how free he is. Oh, we're so close, guys. We're so close. There's probably 30 centimeters left of the snake in, and he's so exhausted and fed up. Or maybe he just knows I'm helping him, that he's not even turning back around on me. He's just trying to get away. Try and remember how slow and sluggish this snake is right now, and remember the temperament upon release. The difference that's gonna be in this snake is just unbelievable. And there we are. One free eastern brown snake. And he's actually much longer than I thought he was. Look at that. How cool is that, guys? Eastern brown snake. Second most venomous snake in the world, and he is exhausted. He's absolutely bugged. Look at that. Eastern brown snake. Maybe he's not bugged, maybe he's just appreciative of my help. I doubt it. And there he is. Beautiful, beautiful snake. We can have a look, see a bit of ruffling of the feathers, ruffling of the scales there. Boop. We come down with, there's our injury, the dryness, the cuts. But yeah, I'm so glad that there's no maggots or anything like that. It's going into my hat now. absolutely gonna love the nice, cold, calm, safe space of my bag. Off you go, buddy. Oh, my back's done from being bent over. Oh, thank God someone found him. I don't know how or why someone would have found him. Look where we are. Unless someone was walking their dog, that's just pure luck. I'm gonna go for a bit of a walk as well and see if I can find any more of that stuff. I'm gonna pick it up and take it with me. We don't want this happening again. I'll whack a tie on the bag, get this guy in the car with some aircon. We'll go for a bit of a walk. Alrighty, got my mate here and this absolute shit here. I'll sit him in the car for now. Hopefully it's not locked. But we are. I'll sit there for a sec, bud. Let's chuck this shit in the back of the ute. That can go to the bin. Get the aircon on for my pal here. He's been through enough. He has been through enough. You sit there in the aircon, bud. I'm just gonna go make sure that there's no more rubbish that your mates are gonna get stuck in. I had a bit of a walk around. I couldn't see it. I don't actually know where this pink stuff's from. I couldn't see it anywhere. Normally it's all around these spots. And this is actually the other issue, isn't it? So, see this? I don't know if this is Cumberland plain bushland, but it's very similar over there, and it would have used to be here, wouldn't it? Yes, but now it is not. It is, well, houses and cleared land. I've been saying for years, this particular spot, I'll tell you exactly where I am. I'm in Riverston. It's a new suburb called Grantham Farm. They're all knocking down the habitat. You can see all through there, the bushes. There's so much woodland here, and there's so many animals that live in and amongst it, and they're just ripping it down. I don't know. I've had calls for lace monitors in cafes, snakes in restaurants, and it's not getting any better. And the more stuff what is that? The more of this habitat they knock down, it's just going to get worse and worse, and they wonder why. Why are all these snakes ending up in our houses all of a sudden? Is it because of the weather? No, it's because we're taking their damn habitat. And if you can't tell, it makes me fucking angry. It's just ridiculous. Like, this is prime habitat. Imagine the possums, the small marsupials, the mammals. There's kangaroos. There's kangaroos here. There's calls for kangaroos which get stuck in the fenced areas. They get separated from their family and they can't get out. I'm gonna get bloody emotional if I keep going on. It's just, don't even get me started on the snakes. The bearded dragons. This place, Western Sydney used to have an abundance of bearded dragons. How many of you guys have seen an eastern bearded dragon in Western Sydney or Sydney at all? Not unless you go looking for them for bloody weeks and you know the exact spot. Anyway, hopefully one day there'll be something we can do about it on a larger scale. At this stage, it's one small battle at a time. One small battle, one life saved, another life saved. We keep chipping away, doing what we can, spreading the awareness with you guys, with this channel, creating more people which want to look after and care for our wildlife. And the other issue is, once this guy is ready to rock and roll, I got to find somewhere to release him. And as you guys know, it's got to be quite close to where we are. But I don't know how much of this is getting destroyed. It's all fenced off, there's signs up. It might all be being destroyed. It's going to end up in someone's yard. So I have to do a little bit of studying and find the perfect place for release. But yeah, let's go get this guy home, get him rested up and hydrated. And I'll see you guys with updates of this snake. All right, let's go. You guys aren't going to believe this. I was just driving out and look what I found. So this is the block here. That's the bushland where we found our snake in the pink. Have a look at this shit. This is the only fencing here, 50 to 100 meters away, with this shit. Look at it over there. Absolute joke. Even a small bit like that's going to get something stuck in it. I've had to pull possums out of this. Another piece here, we're taking all of it. Now this bit's tied on. No, it's not. We are taking all of it. We're not having anyone get stuck. There's a little piece in there I want to try and get. There we go. It's this little piece here. Oh my God, it's got a hook on it. It's all coming with me. We're not getting any more wildlife stuck in this crap. Oh my God, there's so much of it. It's all here. And look at this stuff they leave just lying around that blows around in the wind. Some more. Some more hooks on it. Here's a big roll. Big roll of it, left in the middle of nowhere. It's just rubbish. So this snake, I'd put any money on it that snake had gotten stuck in it all the way over here, made his way that distance, and just continually gotten stuck. And I'm gonna quickly run around and keep picking up this stuff. You guys don't need to see that, but it's all coming with me so we don't have anything to worry about. Leave your shit laying around, it's going in the bin. All right, oh well. It might not look like it, but that is multiple lives saved, I can tell you that. All right, I'll see you in a couple of days. Hey guys, we've had our beautiful eastern brown snake in care for probably about a week now. The injuries are looking pretty good, so I kept him in my care just to make sure nothing more sinister arised. Make sure there was no open wounds, no bugs or maggots got in, make sure no infection arise, and it's all looking really good. Where he was compressed from the netting, his body's expanded back to normal. He's been able to rehydrate himself after being stuck out in the sun, and what's left, it sort of looks, it's all superficial looking, so there's some missing scales, some scales ruffled up, but no open wounds, which was the main concern. So we're going to try and get this snake out, bag him up, and try and take him home. This snake is incredibly defensive, and I don't blame him after what he went through. He went from being stuck to me cutting him out to putting him in an enclosure. Every time I walk in there, he goes, S's up and starts headbutting the glass at me until he ducks back under the hide. He's more than ready to go. He's so active, he's alive, and I don't think we're gonna get a look at him when we release him. I'll probably open the bag and he'll go, gone. Yeah, we'll go have a crack at getting him out. I'll try get a clip how the injuries are looking at the moment when I go in there, but it depends how much he plays ball. I might open up his hide and he just starts going around, so really depends on that. If not, I'll see you at the release site. If I just film through the glass here, you can see those ruffled up scales I was talking about. There's a few indentations, but they'll just continue to fill back out with time. There's nothing I can do to benefit that actual situation, so it's better just get him out in the wild in that sense. There is a couple missing scales that may be under where he's resting his head there, but beautiful snake. Look how light coloured the head is, and as he works further down the body, it gets darker and darker. They are honestly such beautiful snakes. Hopefully he's going to play ball. He's not as grumpy as he has been, but yeah, I'll see if I can get him out. How good is that? Doesn't get much better than hands off. So there we go, eh? Much easier than I anticipated. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that room there is where I keep all the venomous snakes. It's a lockable door. I've got a few enclosures at the moment, but I've got big plans for that room. I want to... it's a long-term goal, but we can slowly tick it off as we go. Obviously, it's going to take time and bloody money, but I'd love to insulate all the walls in there, redo the roof, put a skylight in. There's glass enclosures at the moment. I'd love to put all timber enclosures, stack them up, get a lot going so I can rehab a lot more snakes in a better way. It'll just be easier to keep temperatures and everything like that. 3, I really want to get my own venomous keeping license rather than just rehabbing stuff. I would love to keep a mulga. Well, look, tiger snake's number 1, but I'd love to keep a mulga, possibly a collet. But yeah, tiger, I've always wanted a tiger snake as a pet. Whether it goes in there, you don't really want any, if a wild snake comes in with any issues, you don't want that transferring across to your pets. But yeah, anyway, that's down the line. We want to get that sorted out. But hey, we got our brown snake in the bag. So we are going to run him back to where he was originally from. There's still lots of bushland. I cleaned up the rubbish, and hopefully he won't get stuck again. And I'll see you over there. So we are back out here in old mate's initial habitat, which is fantastic. We've brought him back exactly where he came from. You can see there's some housing development over there, and where we got him from, the housing development was behind there. And I noticed that we've got these power lines here. So hopefully some kind of bush corridor is going to remain for the sake of this snake and the thousands of others that would be in here. Not only snakes, you'd have gliders in here, possums, lizards obviously. I know there's lace monitors in here, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually eastern bearded dragons in here, which sometimes can be hard to find in Sydney. But me being me, you'll notice I am filming on my phone, not on the DJI camera, because me being me, I forgot it. I left it on top of the enclosure after I got the snake out. So anyway, we're going to get our little buddy out here, send him back in here. Hopefully he knows where he is and he can work out where to go. Now with the temperament of this snake, I'm not going to try and fiddle around with him. I'll probably just try and let him straight out of the bag and let him go. Especially like this channel isn't to go, oh, swing it around. Oh, look at him, look at him. This is to show how much we care and love these animals, to show them respect and just how beautiful and calm natured they actually are. So we don't need to get him when he's coming out of the bag. If he wants to be calm, we can have a quick little look before we send him on his way, but the less stress is the best. Bit of a rhyme there. So let's get him out. Seeing as I don't have the GoPro, looks like we're gonna have to go for some kind of bird's eye view. So bear with me if I do this, grab the other end of the bag, see if he wants to stick his little head out. There he is. Come on, buddy. See if he's gonna go. Oh. You can see how much they do like the confinement of the bag. They like being nice and concealed. He feels safe in there. So now he's just sussing out his new environment. So if I slowly put the bag down here, and then maybe if I step backwards, I don't want to spook him and make him go back in the bag like that. But maybe if we just wait and watch, we might get him coming out of the bag. See him flicking his tongue there, working out his surroundings, having a look at the danger, which is me at this stage. I'm right near him, waiting for him to come out. Second most venomous snake in the world. He ain't attacking me. Look how close he is. Right there. He wants nothing to do with me. He's waiting till it's safe and he can retreat. We might even quicken up the process here. We grab our hook, help him out of the bag there. Come on, buddy. There he is. There he goes. That's just because I walked a little bit too close to him. I'm still right near him now. I'm just not really moving. But every time I move, he'll jump back up, just like that. He's not actually trying to get me. He's just trying to warn me off. He could easily get me if he wanted to. You keep going, my friend. Keep going. Whoa. Whoa. The tap on the tail brought him right out. Not like a red belly. You tap a red belly on the tail, it goes, disappears. I tapped him, he came back out. But he is gone now. And he's probably just curled up in here, and you can see how well that brown colouring, the mottled browns with the darkness and the lightness, it really blends into our bushland, our grassland out here in Western Sydney. So there we go, guys. We actually did end up getting a bit of an eastern brown snake, second most venomous snake in the world, most deadly in Australia. Bit of action. I thought he was just going to shoot straight out of the bag and disappear, but he wanted to chill out for a little bit. You could see how weary he actually was before he left. And then when I started hassling him, that's when he puts up his defensive display. But I don't want to end the video there. It's probably going to be a little bit short, and I don't want to disappoint you lot. So I'll chuck in another rescue or a catch and release at the end of this video. Now I'm tossing up putting in a big, beautiful red belly that I got last night. So he was actually stuck in a chicken coop, or it was a bird aviary, to be honest. We did film it, but we filmed it that way. I can stretch it out and put it in if it works, or I can put it to the side. But yeah, we got him out and it was just going to be a catch and release, take him down the back. As I picked him up, I felt all these lumps and bumps underneath him. And he's actually been bitten by a dog. It looks like some kind of terrier. You got the jaw marks, they're about that big towards the back of his body there, but underneath. And they've just filled up with muck and gunk, and I just want to give it a nice clean up, let it heal up a bit before I release him back, just to make sure nothing more sinister occurs, some bad infections or anything. We'll pull those off, clean it up. We can have a look at him before we send him back to the wild. I'll either see you guys with that one or something else, but I'll see you then. G'day guys, so I'm about to get our red-bellied black snake out of the enclosure he's put in and just have a look at those injuries. I think it's going to be okay. I'll probably just try to pull the scabbing off, make sure there's nothing gnarly going on underneath. I'll be back in a sec. So he's a pretty tolerant snake. I'm probably just going to try and have his head in the bag and have a closer inspection. Yeah, hopefully he works for me. So there's a close-up there of the obvious dog jaw, probably a terrier of some sort. But you can see one side of the jaw, other side of the jaw. Very, very obvious. And he's been eating and shitting fine. I know that because he had the biggest lump in his belly and he's shat digested mice out everywhere. Absolutely stinks. It's just mainly this one. It was very, very deep. We just don't want anything happening to him down the line. So maybe it's just a clean up of this, keep him in a nice clean enclosure while it heals up without him having to traverse out in the bush where he can rip it open further, get more gunk in it. Ugh. I'm a bit far away, but there's a big bit of pussy gunky stuff there. It's actually really nice underneath. It's some nice pink healthy flesh. There's no active bleeding. It's like it's healed as a whole and then just filled up with gunk. It's already healed. That's not going into the internals of the snake. It's like healed in there. You can see it's not actively bleeding. It's sealed. We'll put a little bit of betadine on, leave it for another day or two, and then we'll send him back home. A very lucky bugger. It just shows how tough and resilient they are. They don't always need human intervention. You see how tolerant of me he was as well. He's just trying to get back in the bag the whole time, so it obviously wasn't hurting him. I'll be back with some betadine. So for anyone that doesn't know what betadine is, it's just an antiseptic topical solution. So it's just gonna help clean any gunk or germs or bacteria that's hanging around, which I honestly don't think there's any. Oh yeah. Why we got him here? Why not give him a touch anyway? Let him chill out in the bag for 10-15 minutes while I clean up the enclosure, because this guy, I think he ate every single mouse inside the bird cage because he shits every 10 minutes. It's absolutely foul. So I'll make his enclosure nice and clean, chuck him back in, and I'll see you guys on release. Oh geez, I should have put a hat on. I got a haircut. That is short, that is terrible. Ugh. Anyway, I've got our red-bellied black snake. He's ready to go home. So I've actually just come to the other side of the bushland. So there's sort of like, we go down and dip, there's a creek at the bottom, back up the other side, and the house where he got him from is just on the horizon. You can actually see the roofs over there. I just thought if we brought him to this side of the gully, he's a little bit further away from the dog, which would have grabbed him initially, but he's also still in his home range. He's going to know where to go, what to do. We'll try have another look at the injury when I get him out. I was having a look when I got him out of the enclosure and he musked all over me, so I just chucked him in the bag. But the wound closer to the front, I think, is healed up really well, so it's not gunky at all. Neither's the one at the back. It's just sort of more scabbed up, but having him in care any longer isn't going to help anymore. But yeah, we'll get him out, see if he lets us have a look. If not, we'll just send him away. This thing is a shitting machine. He does not stop pooing. So yeah, that one towards the front, you can see how much better that's healed up. There's no gunky stuff in it. There's a little bit of scabbing, but it's much better. And our one at the back, it's just scabbed up on the inside, but it's not full of dirt and gunk and muck and stuff which will potentially cause infection. It's just a nice scab, healed over, and that'll hopefully keep him protected. There is our beautiful red-bellied black snake, who is more than ready to go home. So we're not going to hold him up because he's just pooed all over me. Keep going. Yuck, what is that? What have you been eating? Oh, there he goes. And away he goes. And he's got this beautiful sandstone escarpment here, which he can hide in until he's ready to shoot back down the gully, back down to that creek system, and hopefully not up the other side and back into the aviary, because then I'll have to catch him again. But yeah, there we go. Well, one very extremely successful rescue in the eastern brown snake. I'm so proud of that one. That's a fantastic rescue. And then this one was sort of just a welfare check, just a little bit of a clean up and a help, but we do what we can. Alrighty, cheers for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.